Welcome to No Agenda, the all-new travel and lifestyle show on Diva. This is not your usual travel guides. This show might just influence you to go back to the roots. In today's day and age, let's face it, we're all so absorbed with our phones. We're so used to research and plan and think everything through, we sometimes tend to forget to just go with the flow. Well, I'm Max Long, and with me, you'll be traveling with no agenda. No pre-planning of my trips, no research of the destinations I visit. My travels are influenced by the people who know best, the locals. The locals are going to show the beauty of their country through their eyes. From one local to the next, one destination at a time. Coincidence or fate? That is up to you to decide. All I know is that my first destination is a small but picturesque country in the center of Europe. Known to be neutral, I'm going to Switzerland. Follow me. To spice things up, I only have 48 hours to meet as many locals as I can, to experience as much as I can. The good thing, the 48 hours will only begin the moment I touch down in Zurich. That gives me a bit of a head start to meet hopefully some interesting Swiss people on this flight. I'm also quite excited that this is a night flight, so I'll get to rest and be refreshed tomorrow to maximize my 2 days in Switzerland. Where will this journey take me? Time to board this plane and find out. And so my journey to the unknown begins. It begins in style. The Swiss are known for their hospitality, so I figured flying with their national carrier would be a great start for me to get to know a little bit more about their country. And as an airline enthusiast, it excites me that I get to try out the airline's newly retrofitted Boeing 777. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, hi. Sorry, am I interrupting?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, I'm Max.
Hello, Max.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm shooting for a travel show, and my goal is to travel to all sorts of countries. Today it's Switzerland. I have absolutely no plan. It's part of our concept of this show. It's called No Agenda. I'm traveling with no agenda, no plan. And I thought I'd talk to some locals. You must be Swiss, right?
Yes, I am.
What places should I go and visit? I know Switzerland is all about watches and cheese and chocolates. Like, what do you recommend?
So you go to the French part of Switzerland, or you could stay in the German part of Switzerland, going to Lucerne.
Okay.
In the French part, you could go to Geneva, to Lausanne, to Gruyere. They make cheese there, the Swiss
Swiss
cheese.
cheese. I love Swiss cheese.
Exactly. Or the Swiss watches. Have you been to watch factory where they make watches?
No, never been a cheese factory, never been a chocolate factory, never been a watch factory.
I would say my cousin, he works in a watch factory.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I could arrange something for you. I could ask my cousin if you could visit him.
I would love to do that. What other places should I go and see in Switzerland?
Lucerne, it's a very old city, and it's split up through river, the Reuss, it's called.
Yeah.
In two towns, the old town and the new town.
Oh.
In the old town, you have the...
It seems like no trip to Switzerland is complete without a visit to Lucerne. And going to a Swiss watch factory, that will be a dream come true. But now it is time to digest all this information and lay my head to rest. Wherever I travel, I try to use the most common way of transportation. And in Switzerland, what else could it be but the world-famous trains? To be more precise, to get from the airport to town, using the S-Bahn is the ideal way to travel. And so I arrive at what seems to be the main train station of Zurich. And what a busy place this is. People everywhere, walking in all directions. The first guy I meet is a traveler like me, but dressed slightly differently. Didn't I tell you I would take you back to the roots? But what immediately catches my attention are all those people in their red jerseys. After talking to a few fans, I found out that today Switzerland is playing in a World Cup qualifier game. I would have loved to see that match, but of course, tickets have been sold out for weeks. That being said, the fans had another good suggestion of what I could do with my time here in Zurich.
The FIFA National Museum.
Oh, really?
It's very good.
Here I am in sunny Zurich. It's the banking capital of Switzerland. I can't wait to explore it. I can't wait to meet locals, find out where to go. One big coincidence, I'm a football fan. Tonight is a Swiss-friendly game between Switzerland and Portugal. I'm going to check out the FIFA Museum. I'm going to check out Zurich. As a lover of history, I decided to make my way into the old town of Zurich. I was simply blown away by the architecture and those cute little alleyways. But what I always enjoy the most when traveling to cities is to people watch, as they enjoy conversations out in parks, playing oversized chess, or the popular game of boccia. What grabbed my attention are these blue signboards around town, which explain the history of a particular building, or in this case, this gravestone, which belongs to one of the Roman founding fathers of Zurich back in 15 BC. Everyone told me Zurich is the banking capital of Switzerland, so of course I had to go and visit the Wall Street of Zurich. This is a square called Paradeplatz. It's sort of in the center of Zurich. I was speaking to one of the locals, and this is where all the banks have their headquarters. Credit Suisse, UBS, and what they're all called. And supposedly below here, below these banks, are all the vaults. The vaults with all the Swiss golds. I mean, cheese and watches, that's one thing, but the Swiss golds is another. But I don't think I'll be able to see that. And since I only have 48 hours in this beautiful country and wanted to see some Swiss gold, why waste time trying to break it to the famous Swiss bank vaults when I know I can find another golden trophy? Zurich is known for many things, but for football fans, Zurich is also known as the headquarters of FIFA, the World Football Federation. And since the beginning of 2016, football fans like me get to experience the history of the World Cup from 1930 until present day. Two floors down, I had tons of fun testing myself out as a sports commentator. In the World Cup final, Germany against Argentina, 113. World Cup is all right, yes, I'm not going to give up my day job. Wait, hosting is my day job. Okay, let's just say I need to work on my football commentating skills. Finally, I found something I can really excel in, and that is celebrating. We all know the famous dance moves our football stars bust out when they celebrate scoring a goal. I forgot. When you celebrate, you often need to know how to dance. Okay. Well, I actually came here for something totally different anyway. As you know, I'm in search of Swiss golds. And like one of the FIFA Museum staff members told me, since Switzerland has never won a World Cup, at least the original World Cup trophy is located here. I don't think I'll have any luck trying to sneak gold out of this country. It's been quite a day already, and I know tomorrow will be a long one too. I think it's time to find a place to stay for tonight and get some rest. Once more, I thought best to ask a local of where they would recommend me to stay. Okay, so no star or 7 star is my option. Okay, cool. So no star or 7 star. I'm gonna have to flip a coin and figure this out here. So if it's eagle, it's a 7 star. If it's head, it is a no star. Youth hostel. I really hope it's a eagle. It is the eagle. Yes. Taylor Eagle it is. And even though 7 stars might be a little bit far-fetched, I'm here in Switzerland and I will try out a 5-star hotel. When in Rome, or Switzerland in this case. I do remember flight attendant Andrea taking down some hotel names, and again, why not take advantage of that connection? Luckily, the Atlantis by Giardina Hotel is only a few stops away, so let's try out this form of transportation, the tram. Finally arrive at what seems to be quite a hotel, and it is always a good sign when I hear, "Mr. Lung, we were expecting you." It seems after texting Andrea, she managed to sort out the reservation for me, and all I have to do now is to check into my room and put on some comfy clothes. And what a room it is, a room with a picturesque view of Zurich. Now is a great time to reflect back on the people I met and think ahead of what I might experience next. Hanging out by the pool bar just seemed like the perfect way to do that. While I was enjoying a cold drink, a couple approached me to say hi.
Hello.
Mr. Long.
Hello.
Hello, Daniela Frutiger. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. Long, very welcome. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to meet
very
you.
welcome at Atlantis by Giardino Hotel. My name is Philip Frutiger. We both are CEOs of the Giardino Group.
Cool. Very nice to meet you. You got a beautiful property here.
Thank
Nice
you.
view.
Thank you very much. Did you have a nice trip?
The only plan I have is going to the French-speaking part, to a watch factory.
Okay.
That's
Otherwise,
beautiful.
no plans.
Which place?
I actually don't know. It's a brand called Maurice Lacroix, but I don't
yeah,
really
it's
know
really
where
well
it is.
known.
It's somewhere
Really
in the
well.
French-speaking part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very difficult to
Nice
pronounce
also,
the name.
If you go to the French part of Switzerland, you have to go to the Italian part of Switzerland.
Why not?
And we both invite you to come to our hotel in Ascona.
That is very kind of you. Yes, I'd love to come. I don't have any plans, and I'd love to explore as much as I can.
Enjoy your
I will.
stay here in
I will.
Zurich.
Thank you.
And see you next days in Ascona.
Very nice to meet you.
Mr. Long.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
And now all I want to do is to put my feet up, enjoy this cold homemade iced tea, and soak in the sun. Which, by the way, I hear in Switzerland is not always out like today. Tomorrow I plan to get up as early as possible, so lights out for me. It is remarkable how Switzerland's public transportation manages to stay on time. But then again, it is a country that is known for the best watches in the world. I guess if I had a Swiss watch on my wrist, I would also never be late. I got off the train in Lucerne and immediately I was recognized by a fellow Asian. Quick photo and off I go. Nice to meet you. Once again, I'm right back smack in the center of the city. I mean, I knew from Andrea and many of the other locals I met that Lucerne is a must-see. I also knew it is a very popular tourist destination. But what I didn't know is that Lucerne actually somewhat reminds me of home. Well, okay, this is kind of strange. I'm in Switzerland, but I happen to see more Asians than Swiss. Feels like Asia with historic old buildings. Finally, I did bump into some Swiss, and guess where? Right at the cheese market. How much more Swiss can it get? Of course, I had to know which is the most famous Swiss cheese.
You see, you can even see the hole. A Swiss cheese with a hole.
You like eat whole?
Yeah.
I like more eat
Oh, thank
cheese.
you. You prefer the cheese. Oh, so this is more for you. Small holes then. Have
Okay.
more. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye bye.
I realized this is not your usual bridge. This unique bridge contains a number of interior paintings dating back to the 17th century. Although many of them were destroyed along with most of the centuries-old bridge in a 1993 fire, it luckily didn't completely burn down. It remains the oldest wooden-covered bridge in Europe today. And the clichés continue with Swiss cowbells, flags, and of course, the world-famous Swiss army knives. I did end up meeting more tourists and they recommended I should check out the other side of the Chapel Bridge, some monuments as well as the promenade along the lake. I arrive at a square that seems to be the drop-off place for tourists. Dozens of Chinese tourists getting out of tour buses and walking towards various stores surrounding the square. I was intrigued to find out what it could possibly be that they all want to see. I decided to check out one of the shops and quickly realized that it was a watch shop. And of course, the Chinese tourists were looking to bring home a Swiss masterpiece. I figured this is a good time to take a look at what just might suit my own wrist. I engaged in a conversation with a boutique team member and quickly realized that there are simply too many famous Swiss watch brands. Since I know I'll be visiting a watch factory later, I turned to another side of the shop my wife would appreciate way more than me. Gemstones in all colors. My wife loves beautiful jewelry. Well, I've rarely met a woman who doesn't. I know I could get some brownie points bringing home a souvenir from Lucerne. The boutique director was kind enough to show me some amazing pieces, and on top of that, I had an even more enticing proposal.
I would like to show it to you. We don't show that to everybody, but to you, yes.
Yes, I can see that?
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, Max.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
My name is Robert.
Robert. What a nice, professional, and passionate gentleman. Robert filled me into the world of jewelry design and production. He said the star of the company is the gemstone. It is not only often the centerpiece of the entire set, but also the inspiration for how a necklace is designed. The jewelry designers use the microscope to dive into the stone and study the inclusions. Those inclusions ultimately inspire the entire jewelry piece. After meeting and watching the designers work their magic, Robert gives me a tour of the jewelry atelier where he explains how Gubelin takes control of the pieces from beginning to end. And of course, after the design phase, these beautiful pieces have to be made, and this gentleman is the gemstone setter. I still want to visit 2 more regions of Switzerland today, so I better get going. So I head to the French-speaking part of Switzerland, specifically to a region called Jura, which is known for the many watch factories. Andrea from our Swiss flight was kind enough to set up a meeting with her cousin David, so I was very much looking forward to meet him. And so David explained how a watch is designed. First off, you need a creative inspiration, and in this case it was the Calypso watch from the 90s. Look at the marketing campaigns from back then. I forgot how different my teenage years were. After sketch after sketch after sketch, you arrive at a design you like, and then it's time for the technical constructions and also 3D printer samples to be made. Once all that is done, it is time to meet the watchmakers.
Pierre-Alain Boyard. Hello.
Hello.
To Max. Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Pierre-Alain is watchmaker in our company since 28 years old, am I right?
Sure.
It's a really tradition in our area. I mean, this is really the watchmaking valley from Geneva to Basel.
Why is the handmade aspect still so important? Could we not, and now please don't listen, Pierre-Alain, make a Pierre-Alain robot that can put it all together automatically? Would it be possible?
Well, a 20 years experience robot is really quite difficult to get, but
Pierre-Alain could design the robot. Of course, I have to see the finished products, and I have to say I got really tempted buying myself a Swiss watch. I did it! My first Swiss watch. I am a happy young man. And now on to the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. And so I got picked up by a driver of Giardino Hotel Ascona who brought me to the canton of Ticino. And what a scenic drive. Wow, this really feels like more Italy than Switzerland. And once again, I think I hit the jackpot because this hotel seems definitely quite the place too. So I check into what is one of the most historic hotels of this region. In fact, Giardino just celebrated its 30-year anniversary. The hotel is surrounded by so much greenery, and I love this place already. I had to go see the gardens of this hotel. After all, Giardino means garden in Italian. The attention to detail here with all the flowers and plants is just stunning. And as a golf fan, it helps that there is a golf course right next door. Although, I don't really have any time to play a round of golf today. But first let me explore the village of Ascona, which is Switzerland's lowest lying town. It is located 196 meters above sea level on the northern shore of Lago Maggiore, a long thin lake on the south side of the Alps.
Hello.
Such a beautiful dog. What kind of breed is this?
She's a typical San Bernard.
San Bernard, the famous
Switzerland,
one.
Swiss
The one.
dog, typical Swiss dog from the Alps.
Okay, with the
Yes.
what do you call it? The
I don't know.
yeah.
But,
What's inside there? I've always wondered.
Alcohol.
Oh, it's alcohol.
Not for the dog, for me.
Oh, okay. All right, no alcohol for you. Alcohol for mommy. Okay.
Very heavy
Okay.
for the moment. And
It's a bit hot.
it's very hot.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. I'm in awe with how picturesque everything is here. From the cute buildings, statues, the churches, lakes, and landscape, everything looks like right out of a Heidi movie. I don't know about you guys, but I've always imagined Switzerland to be this picturesque fairy tale like we've seen in so many movies, Heidi and whatnot. And it really is. Look at this. This is like a painting. Beautiful country. I love it. And of course, that's not it. The owners of Giardino Hotel, whom I met in Zurich, invited me to dinner tonight. Not anywhere, but at 2 Michelin-rated restaurant Echo at their hotel. It's really a pleasure and a joy. Thank you for having me at Atlantis, and thank you for having me in Ascona. You have some really nice hotels, I must say.
Our pleasure to welcome you here.
Now, I'm a huge foodie, and to me, at this level of haute cuisine, food is simply a work of art, and the chef is the artist. Dining at Echo has perks where you find one course even more amazing than the other. Had a lovely conversation with the Fruttigers, learning about the history of hospitality and its beginnings with César Ritz, who was the founding father of the Hotel Ritz in Paris and London, famously named the King of Hoteliers. With this kind of food, you do not want to waste a single thing. It's that delicious. You have to eat every little element. The king tonight surely is the chef Rolf Liegauf, who is not your usual chef. Rolf, together with his incredible team, manages to push the boundaries of world-class cooking. Rolf, what I always wondered when someone's as talented as you are, is this something that a talent you're born with, or can someone actually learn?
Alain Ducasse gave a big advice a few years ago, and he said, being a creative and a good chef is 99% hard work and 1% talent. So I think it's the right answer.
Thank you so much, guys. That was such an amazing dinner, and thank you for making my Switzerland stay so amazing.
Thank
Bye.
you, Max. Thanks.
All the best.
See you soon.
And all the best. I'll
Max,
give you a hug.
have a nice trip home.
Philip.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
That's
Perfect.
great.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And so my journey in Switzerland comes to an end with so many fond memories, so many new friendships, but unfortunately the 48 hours are up and it's time to head to the airport. What an amazing 48 hours it has been in what is one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever been to, Switzerland. It is so picturesque. It is everything you envision it to be when you see it in movies, when you hear the stories. It's almost a bit of a fairy tale world. I was guided by the locals. They're extremely friendly people. Took the advice on where to go. I was quite amazed about the 3 different languages, the Italian-speaking part, the German-speaking part, and even the French-speaking part. Got to experience all 3. Lucerne was one of my highlights, definitely a must-see for a tourist. And I even met a St. Bernard dog. How cliche can it get? But for now, it is goodbye from me, because it's time to move on to another destination and travel with no agenda.